You're listening to a Frequency Podcast Network production.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Welcome to Friday. My name is Brock.
I'm Dalby.
Heads up, once again, we are going to be off next week. We're working Monday and Tuesday, but then Wednesday I'm going to that festival. So we're going to mail in the next couple days.
Yeah, but you will still get your daily podcast episodes Monday and Tuesday. But while we're gone, we are not giving you daily episodes. We are on vacation. We have some stuff cooking that we'll be able to post right here. If you subscribe to the podcast, you'll get all this stuff. But one of the things I was thinking, we do like the Text Us Tuesday, Text Us Thursday if you listen to the live show. What if we open it up to get people to ask us questions that we can answer and put that up as a podcast?
We can do an intimate Q&A for the podcast there.
Yeah, ask us a bad question, a Brock and Dalby question. We're on social media. Brock, tell them where you are.
My Instagram is brock.lewis, and then my Facebook page is just Brock, I guess.
Facebook, if you look up Drew Dalby, you'll find that. I'm wearing my Wario sweater. And then, Dalby FM on Instagram and on TikTok, I think. Or maybe it's just Dalby there.
Send us all your weird questions. We can get real greasy here. I want to learn something about Dalby. I want to learn something that I don't already know about you.
Damn, we're going to have to dig deep for that.
I want to find out what your kinks are. What makes you tick?
All right, let's start today's podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Please, guys, for the love of God, don't forget to call your this weekend, or I mean, even if you call her, make sure you give her a call. All right?
Whatever you call your mom, make sure that you give her a call this weekend.
Actually, random question: what do you call your mom? Mom? Is that what it is?
It's probably one of those things where like, I'd probably call her mom when we're like face to face, but I find on like, we talk a lot on text and stuff because she's across the country. I use Ma, like M-A. What up, Ma?
How did that start?
I think I started doing it ironically in my 20s and it stuck.
Was it because of the Will Ferrell, like, Ma, the meatloaf?
I think it might predate that, but it's also very much a possibility that that's where it came from.
I've always just been Mom. My mom hates being called Mother. My sister used to do that to her when we were younger, and my mom would get so mad about that.
Mother and father do feel kind of like Dickensian orphan kind of era, you know?
Yeah.
Like if one of the kids came up to me and was like, Father.
It's very like Bates Motel type stuff, like
Mother.
I have to go talk to Mother real quick.
Yeah, like
right?
Mom, Mama, Mommy, like
ooh, I don't like Mommy.
I'm saying depending on your age. Those are all kid things.
Yeah.
Mommy is fine up until like 9, 10 maybe years old.
Mommy's like cute to hear a little kid say it, and then after a certain age, it's kind of weird, right?
No, 100%. But I think mommy is still better than mother if you're a grown person. Toss up? Both weird.
I'd rather call my mom Mother than Mommy, that's for sure. Like, if you heard a grown man be like, I'm going to my mommy's house this weekend.
When you say it out
my
loud,
mommy made me some cookies.
When you say it out loud, no, you're right. It definitely hits different.
It's like the whole daddy thing, right?
No,
like,
we don't do daddy. We talked about this.
You know what I mean? Like,
no girl is allowed to call me daddy until my daughter stops calling me daddy.
I know it's a big thing for Newfoundlanders. My dad refers to his mom as Mutter.
Mutter.
Me
mutter.
I think it's like, I don't know how you'd even spell it. M-U-D-D-E-R?
Oh, for sure. M-U-D-D-E-R. Same with fodder. F-A-D-D-E-R.
Yeah.
Mutter and fodder.
Or is it mutter? No, it's more of a mutter.
Oh, it's definitely
It's like a tough mutter kind of thing.
But I do feel like I've heard, and maybe it's in like a movie somewhere with a different dialect. I think mutter is also... you know what? It's a German thing. They made a joke about it on The Office.
Oh, is it?
Mater and Vater.
Yeah. You know what's weird is like mommy.
Mammy?
Mammy's weird, but mommy's even weirder. Like, like M-A-M-I.
Like the Mexican.
Yeah.
Mammy.
Yeah.
Mommy. Mamacita.
I mean, I guess that works if you've got like the right kind of heritage to it.
If you grew up in a certain part of the world, absolutely you can say that. Guys like me and you, no.
It doesn't feel right to go up on Mother's Day and go, hey, mommy.
No, absolutely. Honestly, you shouldn't be doing that to anybody, but especially not your own mother in that tone of voice.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
You know what's wild on the text line here? We got a lot of people saying that they refer to their mom by their first name.
Couldn't be me.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. I mean, even as a parent, if your kids call you by your first name, is the
Marcus started calling me Drew for a little while, and I did not care for it, and I think he didn't care for it either.
Yeah.
So he's gone back to Dad now.
My mom always said, you don't call me by my first name, like I'm mom to you kind of thing.
I just couldn't imagine calling my mom by her first name. And I mean, part of it is probably because we've talked about this on the show. My mom's first name is Karen, and that name has been kind of like socially decimated.
It's been drugged through the mud a little bit.
I couldn't imagine yelling into the kitchen at a Karen. Like, that would be a weird feeling.
Yeah.
But also just like, I don't know, man. I would be worried about my mom smacking me if I said Karen.
Absolutely. You got a Karen, I got a Sharon.
Yeah.
My dad's name is Rick. I've never bothered calling him by his first name either.
I refer to my stepdad by his first name, but I think that's because, like...
That makes sense.
He's a stepdad,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it's the same. I refer to my dad by his first name, but only because, like, he went for milk. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Rightfully so.
Right.
He hasn't earned that honor,
No.
you know?
But my mom, who's, like, been there day one through all of it... That's my mom, man.
Well, even in general, it's weird to think, like, for those of you who don't know and maybe just learned, Dalby's name is actually Drew Dalby.
That's true, yeah.
I've been friends with you for over 5 years now.
Yeah.
And I've never called you Drew once.
Not on purpose.
Yeah. I don't even, like, on a regular basis, you don't even say my name. It's weird, like... When you're close with someone, you actually don't use their name to talk to them.
Honestly, like, I say your name on the radio sometimes because sometimes people still get us confused by our voices. So I'll be like, Brock picked, blah, 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 for like draft and stuff. But just in us time, like when I come in here and you're already in, it's, what's up, man? What's up, brother? Hey, dude.
I feel like you're like my girlfriend where it's like you only really say my name when you're mad at me. and anyone who's in a relationship can agree with me on this, that when you're dating someone, you never actually say their name. Like, I'm never like, hey, Courtney, how's your day going? I'm like, hey, babe, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. I know Courtney is pissed at me when she calls me by my first name.
If you're like sitting watching TV or something and all of a sudden you hear, Brock, you know it's not great. Whereas if it's like, babe, it's probably just like, can you give me a hand?
Even our boss, Jackie, like, it's like, if she comes in here and she goes, Brock Dalby, it's like, all right, crap. Like,
Well, if she ever comes in here and goes, Brock Drew, then we, it was great working with you, brother.
It's kind of like when you were a kid and your mom middle name drops.
Oh, God.
I feel like that's the only reason why we have middle names is for your parents to get mad at you.
If you put my whole government name together, including middle names, it's 4 names. People talk about how rough it is when your parents come in and hit you with first, middle, last. I got double government last name. If I got all 4 from my mom, I did not stick around to hear the rest of the sentence.
Oh, yeah, that's how you know you were getting a licking, dude.
I'm not about to drop my full government name on the air, but when she did it, I was out the door.
It's crazy the parallels that our moms and our girlfriends have in common, you know?
I don't know.
It's weird how life comes full circle sometimes, you know?
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Yesterday, Sheldon Keefe was officially fired from the Toronto Maple Leafs.
How do we feel about that?
I mean, I kind of saw it coming. I don't know if it's the answer.
I was just going to say, I mean, is next year your year now? Is that did that just unlock anything for the team?
I mean, we've thought multiple times that the new coach would be the next big thing, right? Mike Babcock, right? Randy Carlisle. I don't know, man. I feel bad for the guy because I think he did a good job, but I mean, you just didn't get the job done is the biggest thing.
Well, I mean, sports more than almost anything is a results-based business. And if you're not winning, then you're getting fired.
I did see someone post a bunch of photos of just Sheldon Keefe losing his mind on the bench as like an in memoriam kind of thing.
Did it have Sarah McLachlan playing in the background?
It should have.
The arms of
that dude's face gets so... He's finally probably going to get the color back in his face after being fired, dude.
Just take a few months off and let his body go back to a normal tone.
It was the best when they were playing like peak pandemic time when there was no fans and they had to wear the masks on the bench.
Right.
Because he'd get so hot and so red in the face, but then he'd just have the mask on there so you couldn't see what he was saying.
Yeah. It's like a sensor bar.
But you could see that he was boiling. Basically, all you needed was like smoke from the ears.
The train whistle noise.
Yeah, and he would have been the perfect cartoon character. It probably, honestly, for any coach that ever gets fired or canned from the Leafs, It's probably actually really healthy for them.
Honestly, yeah, it doesn't seem like you can make a lot of money being a coach in professional sports. You can get a lot of accolades, like some of these coaches that go on big winning streaks and stuff like that. Bill Belichick is set for life thanks to his run in the NFL. But also now that he's fired and he can just sit at home and wear hoodies and not have to stress all the time,
well,
it's probably good for your soul, man.
But just specifically the Leafs in general, like people who coach there or play there, I think it honestly is bad for their mental health.
It takes years off your life being under that kind of scrutiny.
You're in that bubble, and yeah, there's so much scrutiny, dude. I can only imagine, like, how much therapy these guys have to go through just playing and working in that city.
Well, and like when you go to therapy as an ex-Leafs coach, like where do you even start? Do you talk about the media who talked about you 24/7, win or lose, and all the problems you have? Do you talk about the fans who are calling for your head, both figuratively and literally every single day? The players who are up and down disrespecting you, but sometimes on your side?
And mind you, like, they get paid enough to deal with this kind of crap or whatever, but you know how we were talking a few weeks ago how, like, the Olympics is taking parents' heart rates while they're watching their kids? I would love it if they started doing that with NHL coaches. Honestly, if I could see Sheldon Keefe's heart rate during a game, that might make me feel better to know that, like, okay, we're on the same page. Like,
honestly, all sports would do well with this. Like an NHL coach, when it's like 3-4 minutes left, you're pulling the goalie. What's the heart rate? When there's a bad call, when they're going to Toronto.
At the intermission, they're taking his blood pressure just to see what it's at.
And then you go to other sports, right? You go to the NFL during like an instant replay. What's the coach's heart rate at? Win or lose there. If you go to basketball, those last few minutes of the game. Dude, the heart rate monitor on a baseball coach when he's in the middle of yelling at the umpire about to get thrown out.
Yeah.
I want to see who can get the high score before they get kicked out of the game.
I know it's got to suck to lose your job, but this is probably the most Sheldon Keefe's been able to breathe in like a long time, dude. Seriously. I don't know what the answer is, but it's going to be a long summer for the Leafs, I feel like.
Will you be putting your resume in for the job?
Screw that, dude.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I wasn't fired from my job. I was laid off. Well, you wouldn't know the difference. I didn't want salmon. I said it 4 times.
You know, we were talking about Sheldon Keefe being let go from the Leafs, and I didn't think about it till someone texted it in. That let go is a really nice way of telling someone that they're fired, or saying that someone was fired, rather.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I'm sure that in the office or in the email, however it was handled, the word fired was probably used. But you see that a lot now, is like, we're going to have to let you go.
It's a nice way of basically like being like, I think we should just be friends.
Right. Yeah. Well, what's the old saying? If you love something, let it go. Is that what the Leafs loved Sheldon Keefe so much they let him go?
It's never mutual in those kind of situations. And I mean, they use all these phrases and stuff to make it seem nice, like relieved of his duties and stuff like that. Like,
yeah. The big one in wrestling circles is we wish well in further endeavors. Basically means like we fired him.
Yeah.
We hope that it goes well wherever he ends up next.
Yeah.
It's not here.
Or parted ways.
Parted ways, gone in different directions. That's a tough one, dude.
Yeah.
If you ever had a boss come to you and be like, we're going to go in a different direction. What the? It's a business. It's not a bus. What do you mean you're going in a different direction?
Business way of being like, no offense, but we hate you. We don't want you around here anymore.
We've decided that our vision for the company no longer matches your vision for the company.
It's not you. It's me.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's what it is.
That's why we're giving you a severance check and asking you to stop coming in.
I remember I was working at a ski hill, Glen Eden, when I was in high school. And after working there for 2 years, I had like my annual thing. And then they would tell you if you're coming back. And they were like, yeah, we just don't know if you're the right fit.
Oh.
And I was like, what does that even mean, dude? I work at the Tube Park, dude. Who's the right fit?
What's the right fit for the Tube Park?
So I guess we're going our separate ways? Is that what it is?
We're taking the Tube Park in a different direction, and we don't see you aligning with us there.
I mean, you're technically not wrong. I get it. We were all just getting stoned all the time, but I feel like we were all the right fit.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I have sound I would like to share with everybody here. It wasn't nearly as satisfying as I.
Pretty anticlimactic.
That sounded like a series of small farts. It's supposed to be me opening a pop bottle. As you can see here, Brock, I have a Dr. Pepper. Have you seen the latest pop-based viral trend going around?
Can't say I have.
You know those restaurants down the States, Sonic? They're like drive-ins. You pull up and order. They bring it out to your car.
Yeah.
So apparently, Sonic has been trending because some woman went and posted a video of her doing this. She ordered a fountain Dr. Pepper and a side of pickles, which apparently you can get. Obviously, they'd be for the burgers, but you can just get a side order, a little cup of sliced pickles. And then she dumped the pickles into her Dr. Pepper and said, this is the only way that I drink it.
So is it kind of like how you garnish your drink with like a lemon or a lime?
No, you know
but
what?
With a pickle?
I don't even know if it's like, because when you garnish, right, usually it's like one wedge on the side of the glass. This lady literally took like the little styrofoam cup with about, I would say about 5 or 6 little pickle slices and just went boom, right into the drink. Used the straw to mix it around. And well, I happen to have these handy dandy Brock and Dalby pint glasses here. And I just thought maybe you and I could share a little drink together.
I hate pickles, by the way.
Oh, that's why I want to do it.
So
don't think that I had forgotten that fact. No.
So I'm interested to see how this is.
So I've got some Dr. Pepper in these glasses here.
So weird mix of flavors too with Dr. Pepper and like the dill.
So here's what I'm wondering, because Dr. Pepper, amongst the most flavorful of pops, like there's a lot going on.
It's got 23 flavors.
Will the pickle even show up? You know what? Here's your Dr. Pepper.
Okay.
And I don't want to be mean, so I'll even let you go into. I pre-sliced.
How many should I put in?
Well, like I said in the video, looks like it's like 4 to 6, but I know you hate pickles, so like you know.
No. I'll do standard. I'll get 4 in there.
Okay, I got a little mitt full of pickles here.
Just drop them in.
Just drop them in. Give them a little swirl.
Ooh, it makes it fizz. It's like an Alka-Seltzer.
Oh, I splashed some on my face.
Oh yeah, you can smell it in there.
It's such a weird, because again, you have like that Dr. Pepper flavor, that smell.
Yeah.
But there's definitely pickles in there.
All right, well, cheers.
Hey, cheers, buddy. Here's to a Friday of doing this for a living.
Let's see.
Oh, you know what's the worst part? Is when you go to take a sip. You know when you have ice in your drink and the ice like hits your lips, hits your teeth? I just got that from a pickle.
Yeah, I got that too. I didn't taste anything though.
I don't feel like it changed the taste. I don't like the feeling.
Yeah, it's like the pickle trying to slide in my mouth.
Yeah.
That's all it is. We got a slippery pick in there.
I feel like this woman's just wasting her money ordering all these extra pickles.
This feels like something I would have done at a hockey tournament to someone's drink when they went to the bathroom.
When they're not looking, especially in the water bottle with the lid, you just drop in a handful of pickles.
Yeah, that's all this is. I mean, maybe it's a drink and a snack if you're the kind of person that likes chewing on ice.
Let me see if I can get a pickle here.
Yeah, get the pickle in your mouth.
No, the Dr. Pepper erases all the pickle flavor.
Does it?
Even just eating the pickle, you could probably eat the pickle now.
I don't like pickles.
I know, but it doesn't taste like pickle anymore.
No, it still tastes like pickle.
I got him.
You're a dick. I apologize for that. I hate pickles. I can't do that.
Final review: Dr. Pepper with pickles. Is it worth ordering extra pickles at the restaurant?
I don't know. It just seems like someone who's stoned would do. And they'd be like, "Guys, you gotta try it.
You gotta put the pickles in the Dr. Pepper."
I gotta go wash the pickle out of my mouth.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Honestly, that whole Dr. Pepper pickle thing, like, I don't know. I didn't really notice a difference. But
yeah, I was kind of. Is it weird that I was disappointed? Like I wanted it to be either grosser or I wanted it to be good.
Well, it feels like we just like wasted some food and some pop. Honestly.
Yeah, we just kind of ate 2 soggy, caffeinated pickles.
Yeah, there is a trend that I've seen online before where people they go to the movies. I think it's a big thing in Texas because they have. If you go to the theaters in Texas, they actually pickles is like a thing that you can get at the concession
big,
stand.
Giant prepackaged pickles.
Yeah, those weird ones that are in the bag and stuff. And some people actually poke holes in those and use them as straws.
Sip the juice.
And I think if you did that, you'd probably get a little more of the hit of the pickle, obviously.
Oh, I can't. Like, what beverage would you want to run through a pickle before you got it into your mouth?
I don't know. What an image to see, too, when you're in a dark theater and you turn around and see someone slurping on a pickle. It's like that, there was that guy, I think it was at the Yankees game last year.
I was just thinking of the hot dog
guy.
straw.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy went super viral because that's super weird.
Yeah.
Why do you want your Coke or... No, he was drinking beer.
That's what it was.
Why
yeah.
are you drinking beef-flavored beer, brother?
I mean, I do love the combination of a brat and a beer, but...
I don't think I need them together. I never thought once to dip my brats in my beverage.
But you can't knock it till you try it, bro. That's the thing.
All right, so brats and beers on Monday for the show?
We're sucking on wieners on Monday for sure.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Have you been following the Donald Trump hush money trial, as they're calling it?
So the Stormy Daniels thing?
Well, she's part of it, yeah. So the idea is that he allegedly, there's going to be a lot of allegedlys here. He allegedly had sex with Stormy Daniels, former porn star actress, and then later his lawyer would pay her to keep quiet about it. And then the trial is whether or not he allegedly used like corporate funds and lied about things like fraud, basically.
Oh, okay.
To get the money to give to the lawyer to pay him back for paying her
I've seen
off.
it in the news, but I haven't paid much attention to it, to be honest.
So she's been testifying over these last few days in court, talking about the whole scandal, the affair, all that stuff.
Are they talking about the whoopee?
Yeah, honestly, she's going into some detail that I'm not even necessarily comfortable talking about. Talking about like his parts and his bits, and most importantly, I think
brutal.
the takeaway, talking about his game, like talking about the way that he talked to her.
Like how he flirts and stuff?
Yeah, some of the things that he said, like, first of all, talking about stuff like, I guess she really wanted to be, this was back when The Apprentice was still a thing.
Okay.
She really wanted to be on The Apprentice, and he kind of was like, you know, this is probably the only way that you get out of the trailer park.
Oh, greasy.
Insinuating she could be on the show
Yeah.
if they went to the back. And then other stuff like talking about, like, there was apparently a magazine that he suggested that she should roll up and smack him on the backside with, sort of thing.
Are there real quotes for this?
Some of them are not okay. And the worst part is the prosecution has even said, we have worse, but we are holding back to not embarrass the former president.
Yeah.
And it just got me thinking, like, obviously everybody has their jokes and their memes about Donald Trump, but I don't think any guy stands the pressure of having like an ex stand on trial and start quoting your game from back in the day.
I mean,
things you tried to say to get some.
I mean, not even your ex. I mean, just any girl you've ever tried to pick up or anything.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's a new category of nightmare. Like, there's the whole like, oh, I'm giving a presentation in class and I'm not wearing any pants. No, I am sitting in a courtroom and every girl I've ever hit on is telling the court what I said to try and get some.
Well, between your game and like your sexual game as well, just like being outed there for the public and the public, that sucks, dude.
So it's the first time, I think the first time ever that I've kind of felt bad for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, man, no guy could suffer this spotlight.
Well, I think even in today's day and age, it's brutal for like flirting and like hitting on people because it's like a lot of it's through text or like instant message and stuff.
Tinder and stuff like that. Yeah, the people have receipts now.
Well, people have receipts, but also like when you suck because if someone doesn't respond, like you can see that someone opened your message and you're like, damn.
Right, you're just having like a normal conversation. And you're like, okay, I think this is going somewhere. You try to put something out there, and then there's no further response. Well, it's like, oh no.
At least if you're trying to pick someone up in public and you get shut down, like it's right there in front of you.
Yeah, that's true.
Versus seeing it online and seeing that someone read your message is kind of just like soul crushing.
Although when you get rejected out in public, you have an audience. That's also really tough. Like, you go up to a girl in a bar and you start laying game.
But it's easier to kind of swallow that pill versus when you're by yourself. You're like, hey, I wonder if she saw my message. And you're like, oh, man, why did I do that?
She definitely did see it.
Oh, why did I send her a selfie of me and my dog? Oh, I thought she'd like that. Ugh.
Brother, if you're sending a picture of you and the dog, that is way better than 90% of the pictures being sent in that situation.
Sure. Way better than being smacked on the ass with a magazine, I guess.
The worst part is that apparently he said, "Have you seen my new magazine?" Which means it was probably a Trump magazine. That
was actually going to be my next question, is what magazine do you think it was?
There's no confirmation exactly what publication it was.
Is it like a Time?
No, it was probably
Is it a Forbes?
Trump magazine, which means he was probably on the cover, which means he probably got spanked, allegedly, with his own face. And if that's not the most Donald Trump thing I've ever heard, I don't know what is.
That's an image. That's for damn sure, dude.
That'll live with you for the rest of the weekend, that's for sure.
Something to think about when you have some free time later, you know?
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Ed's word of the day.
That's what he's got.
Good morning. Today's word is stultified. Yep, stultified. Stultify. Stultified. And it's to seem stupid or foolish. I get that feeling a lot, actually. Anyways, have a great one. Cheers, you're up.
All right, as always, we got to check the pronunciation.
Stultify.
All right.
Stultify. I just call that going to work, brother.
Got me stulted over here, dude. Now, it says to cause someone to appear foolish or absurd or stupid, but it also says cause to lose enthusiasm and initiative as well.
So really, it's just ragging on somebody. Whether you're making them seem dumb or you're just ruining their day. You're
Basically,
stultifying
you could
them.
also say, like, if you're bored, you're stultified, I guess, right? Like, in the enthusiasm thing, I mean, you could go up to your boss and be like, working for you has made me stultified.
You stultify me on a regular basis. Yeah, especially because it's you're doing this to somebody else.
I feel like my parents' marriage got stultified at one point, you know?
And it's your fault, you and your sister.
It might have been, actually.
I feel like we've all had that moment where you're like telling a story. Maybe it was something you did on the weekend. You're telling your coworkers or your friends or whatever, and you can just watch them get stultified one eye by one eye.
Yeah. For all the kids listening, if you're going into school right now, if you're feeling bored in class, raise your hand and go, "Miss, I'm stultified right now." And see if she even knows what the word means.
When they start talking about whatever it is you couldn't care less, just lean back in your chair and be like, "This is stultifying!"
And if she doesn't know what it means, well, then that apparently not a good teacher, in my opinion.
You win. That's how school works, is you win against the teachers.
Stultify. Use it wherever you can.
For more Brock and Dalby, tune in weekday mornings 5:30 to 9.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast is brought to you by badshop.ca, the Brock and Dalby merch store. With all proceeds going to the Canadian Cancer Society.